and welcome to a brand new episode of Health 360. This week on the show, we're telling you why Gen Z is vulnerable and prone to 17 types of cancers and why that report is setting alarm bells ringing. Also on the show, spotlight on perimenopause. Why is there such little conversation around it? We're telling you exactly why screen time is bad. We all know it is, but what is the science behind it? Also on the show, if you're using your mobile phone as an alarm clock, stop doing it. It's causing your body a great amount of stress. I'm Sneha Mordani. This is Health 360. As compared to the population that was born in the 1950s, this particular generation, the younger generation, is particularly prone. And this has got to do with our lifestyles, the obesity rates, our diet. Take a look at this report to get a sense of why this population, this section is vulnerable and what are the experts advising.
The biggest thing that upsets me that from small I have been doing charity to all the special kids and everyone, and till now during my birthdays I go spend time with them, but I cannot help my own child. It was stage 3 starting. Talking to surgeons, they advised me for precautionary measures since it was a metastasis breast cancer to remove my ovary. I am like really feeling a little bit depressed and stressed, thinking why me at this age. They are usually ladies of 40 plus or 45 plus. Like I find myself, I'm the only breast cancer patient from 24 years of age and still I'm going through chemo again.
Prema was just 24 when she was diagnosed with breast cancer. Life has never been the same again for this young patient of cancer.
I used to drive myself and go there, walk for 8 to 10 hours, then return back every now and then. And then I was very independent, and when I got all this, and then my father told me, you should avoid driving now. Everything just came to like the life just, it was a go green life. Whatever you wanted to do when you started walking and everything, and then everything just came to change yourself.
She is one among thousands of young men and women in the younger generation, Gen Z, to be diagnosed with cancer. And this isn't a one-off. There is data and solid research backing the perception that more and more younger Indians are developing cancer. And Gen Z, those born between 1997 and 2012, are at a greater risk of at least 17 types of cancers.
Now we are seeing the early onset of cancers. So that we have Indian data to support that. Some of the cancers, like some of the breast cancers like TNBC, HER positive, aggressive breast cancer, they are more common in younger age group that we see mostly in 30s and 40s. So their behavior is more aggressive. Their outcomes are little less better than compared to the elderly age group.
The study published in the journal The Lancet Public Health analyzed data from over 23 million patients who were diagnosed with 34 different types of cancer over 2 decades. The patients ranged in age from 25 to 84, representing multiple generations. Researchers have found that the prevalence of small intestine cancer, kidney cancer, pancreatic cancer was 2 to 3 times higher in those born in 1990 than those born in the year 1955 for both males and females, and for liver cancer in females. Death rates also rose among younger groups for liver cancer, gallbladder cancer, uterine cancer, testicular cancer, and colorectal cancer.
The dynamics of change, the kinetics of changes which are happening is very fast. So that a cancer cell which normally might have taken 15 years to become cancerous, it is now being cancerous in 5 years. And what happens that when there are multiple genetic changes running around, the cells, the tumor response, the response to treatment all become unpredictable. It becomes more aggressive, more genetically heterogeneous, and that then, as I mentioned, that they are prone to having more relapse and more treatment failure as compared to somebody who is getting cancer at a late age.
Experts in unison agree that precautions should start early. Modifications to diet and lifestyle could make a substantial impact, particularly when implemented in youth and early adulthood.
So we see a large number of tobacco-related cancers in India, especially affecting the younger population. So that is absolutely preventable by avoiding tobacco. So there is a scope to change. So we need to have a balanced and healthy diet with a good portion of fruits, vegetable and high fiber and vitamins. So that is normally called a diet which can protect you from developing cancers. Cancers like breast cancer, endometrial cancer, colorectal cancers, they are all linked to sedentary lifestyles. So some amount of physical activity is definitely recommended.
Caring for our gut's microbiome, the internal mechanism responsible for absorption of vitamins, regulation of the immune system, and assistance with food digestion, is essential. Lifestyle modifications can mitigate the risk. Experts also recommend avoiding tobacco use, applying sunscreen to protect against harmful UV rays, and staying up to date on cancer screenings and vaccinations. 40 to 50% of cancers are preventable with lifestyle modifications. There is a lot of science and research around menopause, but very little conversation around perimenopause, the phase that actually can start even 10 years before you hit actual menopause. In this report, we're telling you all about perimenopause, what are the problems women are facing and how can they help themselves. Also, why are women entering the perimenopause phase around the age of 30? Menopause causes breast pain, it causes weight gain, it causes dip in sexual drive. What causes menopause? How can we deal with menopause? All the conversation is around menopause. But it is time now to have similar conversations around perimenopause.
There are many myths in the society that menopause occurs abruptly. Once menopause occurs, you will gain a lot of weight. You will start experiencing different medical illnesses like hypertension, diabetes and all. It's not necessarily that they will experience all the symptoms, but maybe one or two, but they should have the right information and what all can be done about them.
So what exactly is perimenopause? Perimenopause is the transition period before menopause, often starting in your late 30s or early 40s. A period leading up to menopause during which a woman's body undergoes various physiological changes as it transitions from the reproductive phase to the non-reproductive phase. This stage typically begins in women in their 40s, but it can start in the 30s and earlier for some. Perimenopause can last several years, often ranging from 4 to 10 years, and is characterized by fluctuating hormone levels, particularly estrogen and progesterone.
Perimenopause is the stage before menopause. Menopause means there is no period occurring in the female. Ovaries has lost its function. In perimenopause, the periods occur but they are irregular or scanty. Or in some patient it may occur very heavy periods but in a few months only.
Abhilasha Khanna, an art educator from Delhi, has been experiencing perimenopausal symptoms for a year now. Awareness and acceptance keeps her going. Here's what she faces.
I've been feeling a lot of loss of energy and hot flushes, then too much of temperature change. If I'm feeling hot, then I'm feeling too much hot, and if it is towards the cold, then it's too much cold. Fatigue definitely. Through the day I get tired more easily than earlier times. Yes, I feel that the metabolism has definitely slowed down. Bloating is there. Interrupted sleep is definitely there, and I feel I do get up a couple of times in the night, and because of that the sleep cycle is not complete.
Khanna says this phase requires a person to focus on oneself.
I take care of my health side by side. I don't let my energy levels go down a lot. I keep taking some high protein calorie rich food. Also rest in between, a little bit of nap also helps. Daily yoga and meditation also helps.
इरेगुलर पीरियड्स आ रहे थे, ब्लीडिंग बढ़ के आ रही थी, ड्राइनेस बहुत थी, स्किन में बहुत ड्राइनेस आ गई थी, हेयर से रिलेटेड प्रॉब्लम्स, आईज के ऊपर इफेक्ट आ रहा था. ड्यू टू दिस पेरीमेनोपॉज, itching and dryness in vagina, uncomfortable for me in the nights. So it has affected sex life also.
Jyoti has also undergone hormonal treatments to get relief from the symptoms of perimenopause. Think you're 30 and could not be bothered about perimenopause. Well, the thing is, it's not true. Symptoms can start showing up earlier than you think. So why does a woman gain weight in the perimenopause phase?
In today's world, alcoholic habits are increased. Everyone knows that. Tobacco intake has increased. We see females having cigarette smoking. So these things impact your perimenopause. In perimenopause there is hormonal imbalance. All of these things cause hormonal imbalance, because of which perimenopause is occurring early these days. And secondly, stress is the main factor in today's life.
Why does a woman gain weight in the perimenopause phase?
It is mostly related to the aging process. The body is aging, your hormones are going down, your muscle mass is decreasing. So yes, hormones play a role, but very little. Usually it's because of aging, other associated medical diseases which you are having. Some starts having thyroid issues along with as they age. Some starts having high BP, diabetes, deranged sugar. These things have become very common nowadays.
Should you test your hormones during perimenopause then?
According to me, there is no use of getting your hormonal test. In any case, if someone wants to get hormonal test done, they should test for their follicular stimulating hormone, because that is the only hormone which stimulates the ovary for the functioning of the ovary and egg release. So that is the only test you can get tested, otherwise there is no need of getting tested.
Perimenopause causes spike in cortisol levels. What should you be doing?
Whenever our body goes in stress, our cortisol levels goes up. So basic thing is your lifestyle modification, go for some breathing exercises, relaxation exercises, daily exercise, meditation, yoga, change your diet, go for more natural organic things, plenty of fluids, add lot of veggies, lot of fruits in your diet.
Does perimenopause lead to insomnia?
Perimenopause does lead to insomnia because patient is not having that peaceful sleep because of the stress of perimenopause. So that does cause insomnia, because patient is afraid of her mood swings, her loss of libido. So she is in the stress, so this causes insomnia in the patient. And also some patients comes in depression also, and anxiety level rises. So they have to deal with the family and the partner, so that there is nothing like that in the future.
Let's tell you about the symptoms. Irregular periods, hot flashes and night sweats, mood swings, sleep disturbances, vaginal dryness and changes in libido. What leads to early perimenopause?
Usually the age of perimenopause and menopause is decided by your genetics, by the family history. If your mother had early menopause, you can, yes, expect it. But yes, nowadays the age has it has become early, like usually earlier it used to be somewhere around 45, 50, but nowadays females around 40 years come to me and tell me, okay, I have started experiencing irregular periods, started skipping periods and having mood swings, having hot flashes.
What's clear is that healthy eating, exercise and managing stress will go a long way in helping your situation. It's important to remember that perimenopause does not signify the end of a woman's sexuality or vitality. When many women continue to lead active, fulfilling lives during and after this transition. Also, there is a belief that you can't get pregnant during the transition period. Pregnancy is possible until menopause is reached. Well, it's pretty difficult to imagine life without an alarm clock, isn't it? But research shows that people using alarm clocks are chronically tired, and snoozing is particularly bad for your health. Now, we all require alarm clocks, don't we? In a situation when we can't do without alarm clocks, we certainly must consider not using our phones to wake us up. The blaring sound first thing in the morning makes you stressed and makes you prone to being groggy and tired all day. So if you simply have to use an alarm clock to get up in the morning, there are alternatives available. In this report, we're telling you what alarm clocks are doing to our bodies and what are the better alternatives that you could be using. Is this you, snoozing constantly, waking up on several occasions and going back to sleep? Or is this you, your body on a flight or fight mode the second you get up in the morning? Either ways, you're doing your physical and mental health grave injustice.
When you put yourself in snooze mode, because then it becomes very difficult. Your body gets more tired. There is a vicious circle between your brain telling you you have to go to work and your body telling you I am tired. You shouldn't be having too many fragmentations and interferences in the sleep. That is an unhealthy way of doing it, because even if you sleep at a stretch for 3 to 4 hours, that will be much more productive.
Your experience would indicate that you do end up feeling stressed if you wake up to several alarms. Experts advise against overloading your clock app with too many morning alarms. This will make you feel groggy and exhausted first thing in the morning. You don't want that.
Have a good work schedule, a good eating habits, and also good exercise schedule. Exercise is very important for sleep. It has short-term implications. Your efficiency goes down, your general well-being goes down, your mental ability goes down, your tendency to pop up pills and energy drinks and tea and coffee, tobacco smoking goes up, and chronic diseases also.
Waking up to multiple alarms every morning disrupts your rapid eye movement cycle, REM, frequently, and this can cause sleep inertia, increase fatigue, mood swings, and raise your cortisol levels.
So muscles also get tight. Your brain thinks you are in stress mode, which is why you feel very stressed. So this is the reason that your body goes either into fight or flight or fight mode. So you become more irritating. These are the stress hormones, and obviously their work is to prepare your body for stress reactions.
Using your phone as an alarm clock is absolutely not advised. Waking up on the right side of your bed is important, and here's why these alarm clocks can be considered alternatives. A physical alarm clock, the good old alarm clock, works. A lot of people do invest in an LED alarm clock, a sunrise alarm clock that wakes sleepers up with light rather than a blaring alarm. That might help. Buzzers that vibrate and don't make noise and also shake the bed a little are some good options. Doctors also advise following the body's circadian rhythm, going to sleep and waking at the same time to help you.
The solution to all this is that we have our adequate hours of sleep. Circadian rhythm means that the ideal time to go to bed is around 8 or 9 in the night, so that you are up by about 6 or 7 in the morning. So you complete your 7 to 8 hours of sleep, which is very important for the body. It has to be maintained, otherwise your body will think that you are in different zone. You still have to get up, you have to do your work, and that will lead to an imbalance in the hormonal system of the body.
So keep the loud noise away and certainly don't have multiple alarms set, and get your body stressed the first thing in the morning. Well, if you are a parent, you would be having discussions around screen time with parents your age who have kids around the same age as yours. It indeed is one of the most hotly debated topics. But is no screen time? Absolutely none even possible. And if you do want to know how much screen time is okay for your kids, we'll tell you. Countries like Australia have some guidelines for kids already. How much screen time is then okay? The Australian guidelines for screen time are part of its 24-hour movement guidelines that prescribe the amount of time we should spend each day on physical activity, sleep and screen time to maintain physical and mental health and well-being. The screen time guidelines, which are based on seated activity, recommend no screen time for children under the age of 2. No more than 1 hour of screen time for children between the ages of 2 to 5. No more than 2 hours of recreational screen time outside of schoolwork from the age of 5 to 17. This could just give you a vague idea about how much screen time is okay, but many parents obviously give more time than this. Many do not. For example, I do not give more than 2 hours of screen time a week, and screen time is only allowed on weekends. That too television, no tablets, no phones for my 8-year-old. Now going back to the concerns around screen time, here is what we all should know and focus on. Screen time is not just affecting our eyes. It also has a deep bearing on our mental space. It has a negative bearing on how children are eating. Children with higher screen time are more likely to engage in mindless eating and overeating. When they're distracted by screens, kids can miss important signals from their brains, letting them know that they're full, the tummy doesn't want any more. Never ever feed your kids while engaging them on a tablet or while watching TV. TV and meals should never go hand in hand. Not for children, not even for you. Screen time can also push kids towards junk eating. How? They're also more likely to crave and eat unhealthier foods. This is actually driven in part by junk food advertising accompanying children's content on screens. The lesser known way is too much screen time affects a child's diet is by impacting their sleep, and that's the other way. It's affecting their sleep and their well-being. For children and adolescents, adequate sleep is 11 to 14 hours including naps for toddlers, 10 to 13 hours including naps for 3 to 5-year-olds, 9 to 11 hours for children between the ages of 5 to 13. 8 to 10 hours for teenagers. Research shows a child's ability to get adequate sleep is deeply impacted by screen time. A review of 67 studies of school-age children and adolescents found that screen time was associated with shorter and later sleep in 90% of the studies reviewed. We need adequate sleep to regulate two essential hormones, ghrelin and leptin, that manage our hunger and our appetite. Getting less than our recommended sleep disrupts our appetite hormones, resulting in an increased desire to eat. Finally, more time indoors looking at screens can mean less time being physically active. A lot of parents say this is impossible. It's impossible to get kids off the screens. What can we do then? Schools are online often. Kids are using phones. There is peer pressure, immense amount of it. Sounds familiar, doesn't it? Well, these are genuine concerns. We aren't dismissing them. But by doing a couple of things can help your situation. Nothing too drastic. Establish screen time rules. Consider guidelines for your child's age, like I said, and cover expectations for where, when, and how screens are used. Young kids playing an educational game on a tablet in the family room might just be okay once in a while. However, watching YouTube in the bedroom is not. Make meal times and the bedroom at bedtime screen-free zones. Involve your children, particularly teenagers, in the process to ensure everyone follows the rules. Outdoor time with kids. Now try establishing regular time in your family's schedule for physical activity. Outdoors, whether a daily visit to the park or sports on the weekend, be a role model for your kids. They closely watch you, they observe and mimic their parents. So the best way to ensure your child has healthy screen time habits is to adopt them yourself. Apply rules to your own screen use at home, including being mindful of being distracted by never-ending notifications. Well, that brings us to the end of this edition of Health 360. We hope you enjoyed watching the show as much as we did. putting it together for you. You can catch this episode and many more stories around health and wellness on India Today's social media platforms. That's YouTube, Instagram, Facebook and Twitter. You can also download the India Today app and log on to indiatoday.in. Do not forget to click on to the hashtag of Health360 and Health360 Plus to find all our reports. Until next time, take care of yourself. Bye for now.